Hey guys, I'm going to take you through the small gizmo I created called StickIt. If you use a planar tracker, you would usually have to pick areas of, if it's a face, then different areas of the face that move independently. So you have to select the bottom half of the face maybe, and the lips and the nose and the bottom part of the eyes and the eyebrows and top part of the eyes and maybe the ears and so on. So you have to create a lot of different masks to get this going. What StickIt does is it kind of creates a mesh of small points that doesn't care about sections of face. They just move independently of each other, and it will sort of warp the overlay image into place. So if you have a point like here, just on the lips, then if the lips move up, it will move up and down accordingly, and it wouldn't care about a point over here that moves up and down. And if you did it with just a spline warp, where you just took the entire face, then you would only get the movement of the face, the sort of the entire face, and not sort of small features inside, like the mouth and the eyes and eyebrows moving up and down, and so on. So let me just take you through the StickIt node itself. What you want to do is you want to connect source input into your footage. The first option you'll see is reference frame. And reference frame is something I will go a bit deeper into a little bit later, but it's sort of the frame that we want to paint on. So let's say you like this frame 12, and you want to apply your digital makeup on this frame. Then you hit frame 12 and you can sort of do your stuff. And when you solve it, this frame will not move at all, but the other frames, it will sort of start interpolating into the warp. The next thing is the range. Is the range you want to track. You can set it to global, which is the scene global. Or you can set it to whatever you like, let's say 50. Then we have a bunch of options. I've decided to disable the apply method and try solve method for now, because I need to do a bit work on both of them. The default method right now for solving is triangulation, which means it will take 3 points and generate an average of the points, or not an average, it's average and multiplied by distance. And the apply method, stabilize, match move. Stabilize can be used for other things, but I have disabled it for now. Then we got filter method, and we have motion blur, which is always nice. Then we have hide source. Now hide source will obviously hide the source, and if you have something in the overlay, it will still display. Preview features is a feature where you can sort of see where the tracking markers will be located once you start tracking. So in this case, you can see we've got a lot of unnecessary stuff up here. Just bring this thing down so you can see it a little bit better. We've got a lot of unnecessary stuff. It doesn't really matter, this is not a 3D track, so we don't care if we get anything outside here, but we would, to get a better result and to save time calculating stuff that we don't need, we can just apply a quick mask. Let me just close this one. Apply a quick mask like this, and what will happen is it will only find points within the confined area. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to match at all, it just has to be roughly around where your subject is inside. So this is great. And then we have show features. I'm going to show you in a bit, and disable warp. Once you hit analyze, it's good practice to just hit disable warp. So let's just hit analyze. And as you can see, it will start you can already see here the result you're getting. So if you're not getting any points at the tracking level, you would either have to go into the advanced tab and mess with some of these features. This is just default tracking settings, or you would maybe have to pre-stabilize your footage. As you know, the camera tracker in Nuke cannot handle too rapid motion, so you would have to maybe stabilize just the lips or something, so that the head itself doesn't move around, so you only have like the head local transformation, you can call it, and that would make the solve a little bit better. So once you have done the analyze part, you can go through and see if there are anything that sort of sticks out. As mentioned earlier, these points out here doesn't really matter, but if you get any issues, you can always delete them, and it will speed up the solve time. But other than that, you just have to go through and see if there are any points that sort of doesn't move very well. The Nuke tracking features are a bit hard to get a grab on. It's a bit sad, but if you see any errors, it's good to take them while you can before hitting solve. So this thing looks fairly good, I must say. And if you want to delete them, you can just select them, right click, track, delete selected, just like the camera tracker. So this looks good, and we have picked a reference frame that we want to solve from, and we just have solve. Now the solve will, of course, take longer depending on the amount of frames that you have. This isn't too long of a sequence, so it doesn't take too long to solve. And now you can start to apply. I have picked frame 2 as a reference frame. So if I start painting on frame 2, let me just close these guys. So if I start painting on frame 2 and make sure that they go all the way through, I will do a little thing you'll probably do the first time you do it. Then you will hit play and see, oh my god, they don't stick. And the reason why they don't stick is because the warp has been disabled. So you just have to enable the warp again. And as you notice, now the performance have drastically been reduced because of the warps, the spline warp. However, the paint have started to, sit on the face. So let me just reduce the resolution here to make it a little bit faster. It's an old machine, this one. So that is kind of all you need for just the basic solve. Let me just show you what happens if I start painting on another frame. So I have this frame here, and say I want to, let me just close these guys. Let's say I want to paint up here on the eyebrow. As you can see, it didn't match the area I painted. So if I paint on the ears, as you can see, first of all, it's very slow and it doesn't match. And that's because I don't paint on the reference frame. So if I regret having this as a reference frame, I could just hit solve again, pick a different reference frame and then hit solve again. But you can just move back to frame 2 again. And if it was the ears you wanted to paint on, you could do just that. Just stop that. Okay. Like that. Okay. Ears. See, it's still, that's another thing. It's quite slow right now. And the reason why it's slow is because the warp is enabled. So if I disable the warp and just close this one, you'll notice it'll be much, much faster. So while you paint, disable the warp, and while you want the look, then enable the warp again. So if I go forward, nothing happens, and the reason why it doesn't happen is, first of all, because the frame range, and second off, the warp has been disabled. Okay, so let me take you through how to use the STMap feature of this. Sorry. So StickIt outputs a motion vector and a transformation STMap. So what you can do is, if you create an STMap, and you put in the STMap of the STMap into the StickIt, and in the source you plug in whatever paint you want to apply. And what that does is, if you pick the up from the UV channel, you just pick the SI trans, and what that means is that it will create, as you can see here, it will create exactly the same result as in inside the StickIt node. So again, you would use that inside here. And then you can maybe add a vector blur on top of that, and then apply the motion vector, which is the MOV. And that would apply the motion blur on top of that, whatever result you have. What you can do is you can render out this STMap. It comes out from the StickIt node, and then you could put it inside After Effects and use the revision plugins to recreate this effect 100%. So StickIt is in an alpha stage, and I wouldn't recommend using it over a planar tracker or 3D tracker or anything like that. It's for run and gun, it's for fast-paced, getting stuff out the door, just quickly making something. And the drawbacks are obviously that it's not as accurate as other methods, and it is not as stable right now due to it being in an alpha stage, and there's still a few bugs and so on. But if you just quickly need to fix something, an eye, or you have a little blemish or a spot or something like that, definitely go ahead and use it. So yeah, if you have any kind of ideas and modifications and so on to the source, I would love to get it from you. You can check out the source if you go into manage the user knobs and just go into the solve button. It'll contain the entire source code for the thing, and I've tried to document it as well as I could. There's some of the things that it's a bit hard to document because well, it's kind of confusing even for myself, but yeah, definitely, if you have any suggestions and optimizations and so on, definitely send me a mail. Other than that, I hope you enjoy using it, and any feedback would be recommended. And a few things: remember to disable warp every time you do anything. Except playing it, then remember to enable it again. Yeah, that's sort of it, I guess. Yeah. And remember the little drawback where sometimes Nuke will delete all the keyframes from the spline warp. So if StickIt just starts or stops working all of a sudden, and you don't really know what's going on, then maybe it's because all the points have been deleted, and you just have to hit resolve again. So yeah.